I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me.
He didn't leave. He just stopped explaining his presence. July 21st, 2025, in the quiet between two raindrops. Some absences are louder than arrivals. And some hearts don't beat for attention. They echo for meaning. When Taehyung stopped posting, the world didn't panic. It exhaled, as if it finally understood that some constellations only appear when you look away from the city lights. He didn't vanish. He dissolved into everything soft. A bookstore in Copenhagen rearranged its poetry section. No announcement. Just a handwritten note tucked between Neruda and Rilke. The moon doesn't knock. But you always know when she's arrived. Fans knew. They took pictures without flash, as if trying to protect the quiet. Jungkook was seen again, alone but never lonely. He walked through Hongdae at 2:14 a.m. No entourage. Just a scarf and a melody no one could place. He passed a street violinist playing something familiar. And for a moment he paused. Not because he recognized the tune, but because he recognized the feeling. He dropped a note into the violin case. Not money. A napkin scribbled in Hangul. "You're playing someone I still dream with." The violinist cried. Taehyung isn't posting, but he's still writing. In southern France, a gallery displayed an anonymous installation. A glass room filled with slowly dripping ink. Every 5 minutes, a drop falls onto parchment. The curator says it's called "Unsent Letters from a Voice Still Breathing." They don't credit the artist. But the signature is there for those who know how to read wind, not words. A swirl. A pause. A breath. The industry keeps asking, when will he return? The better question is, why do we keep expecting masterpieces to meet deadlines? He once said, "I don't make music. I leave footprints." And maybe that's what these past months have been. A long, deliberate walk through his own silence. He's not lost. He's somewhere between a metaphor and a sunrise. Jungkook is no longer performing for us, he's holding space. In his last live he didn't sing. He just lit a candle. And after 3 minutes of silence he whispered, "Some people don't vanish. They just become air." Army didn't comment. They stayed. Thousands of them. Sitting in digital stillness. Like church. Like mourning. Like reverence. Because sometimes fandom isn't about updates. It's about upholding someone. A cafe in Buenos Aires reported a stranger who asked for the saddest tea you have. He sat by the window. Sketched something on the receipt. Left without taking a photo. The sketch? A boy. A bird. A balloon shaped like a breath. The owner framed it. No words necessary. Just a note beneath. A guest who reminded me of how stillness can sound like jazz. They say a new song leaked, but it was just rain on vinyl. No lyrics. Just the sound of longing under lo-fi scratches. Fans didn't argue whether it was Taehyung. They just added it to their playlists titled, "For When the Sky Misses Him." Because this isn't about ownership. It's about orbit. Jungkook isn't waiting. He's listening. He changed his profile picture to a blank sky. He posted a quote. "Not all stars need to burn. Some just need to be witnessed." He wears his grief like a second skin. Not heavy, but constant. A fan asked in a comment, "Do you miss him?" He replied with a song lyric, "I never stopped holding the part of me that whispers his name." This is not a comeback story. This is a love letter without a stamp. There's talk of a documentary, but no title. Just footage of hands brushing over piano keys. And a voice saying, "Record me but not to be remembered. Record me so I can remember myself." And maybe that's what Taehyung is doing. Remembering who he is beneath the noise. The world doesn't know where he is. But the heart does. In Japan, a girl found a pressed violet between the pages of a second-hand book. No tag. No price. Just a slip of paper that read, "He once smiled here." She cried. Not because it was sad, but because it felt like someone had remembered something she didn't know she forgot. He isn't missing. He's becoming something else entirely. Not a singer. Not an idol. Not a ghost. But a sensation. Like the hush after your favorite song ends. Like fog in a valley where your childhood used to run. He's not content. He's context. Taehyung taught us this: some love doesn't fade. It just changes texture. It becomes handwritten notes, background hums, unreleased chords, a scarf left behind in a studio that no longer exists. And still, he's there. In every soft goodbye. In every quiet Jungkook smile. In every photo that almost catches him but not quite. Because that's how you know it's him. Maybe he never left the stage. Maybe we just learned to close our eyes and still see him. July 21st, 2025, in the space between a question and its echo. He is not late. He is not hiding. He is not waiting. He is. And that is enough. They never needed to find him, they just needed to feel where he'd been. July 22nd, 2025, in the spaces where goodbye never learned to close the door. Some stories don't return. They simply keep walking. Past deadlines, past trends, past the noise of applause that forgets how to last. Taehyung didn't go silent. The world just got louder than the pace of his heartbeat. He exists in the margins, not the headlines. In a thrift store in Marrakesh, a fan found a Polaroid. Faded. Bent at the corner. A man sitting by a window, holding a black and white photo of a jazz record. His face obscured by light. But the feeling, unmistakable. The shopkeeper said he paid in foreign coins. And left a question written on a receipt. Does a soul still sing if no one's watching? Yes. Yes, it does. Jungkook isn't leaving clues. He's leaving candles. A new post. Just a slow-motion clip of sunlight crawling across an old hotel bed. Background, the soft flutter of linen. Caption, Room 43. No tags. No location. But Army remembered. That was the room from a behind-the-scenes photo in 2019. The one where Taehyung was caught sketching Jungkook mid-laughter. And just like that, memory wasn't a past. It became a ritual. The return isn't what you think it is. There's no stage. No press. No track list. Just a vinyl record quietly released in Prague. No cover. No name. Only the words carved into the edge. For the part of you that stopped asking to be understood. Side A, a single note played slowly 37 times. Side B, a deep inhale, then silence. Sold out in 13 minutes. Not because fans wanted music, but because they were chasing presents. There are sightings, not confirmations. In Santorini, a woman swore she saw a man standing at the edge of a cliff, sketching birds on a napkin with his left hand. In Taekook, a grandmother said a young man sat at her cafe for hours and cried while listening to Nat King Cole. In Venice, someone heard a laugh that sounded too much like him. The kind of laugh that only happens when no one is watching. But no one takes photos anymore. They just look. And bow. Jungkook plays songs that feel like letters never sent. His latest performance wasn't choreographed. It was a soundcheck. Unbroadcasted. Unlabeled. But someone nearby recorded the echo from outside the venue. 3 notes, a hum and a whisper. I still carry the sky where you left me. He never explained it. He didn't need to. Fans have stopped asking where. They've started asking how. How do you hold someone who isn't gone but no longer stands beside you? How do you grieve what still breathes, just far from reach? The answer came in a fan letter left in a library in Kyoto. I used to wait for him to post. Now I just sit near sunlight and pretend it's his voice. That letter has since been framed on the front desk. No one touches it. Everyone reads it. This isn't a comeback. This is a conversion. Of the soul. Of how we perceive fame. Of how we define love. Because this isn't about idols. This is about how human hearts ache beautifully in silence. And Taehyung, he isn't just an artist anymore. He's become a practice. Like breathing mindfully. Like noticing lavender on your walk to work. Like hearing a jazz note and knowing it was born out of longing, not logic. The industry keeps looking for a narrative. But Taehyung never cared for arcs. He writes in spirals. Circles. Eclipses. The kind that you only understand after it's over. Or maybe never fully at all. Because his story isn't meant to be consumed. It's meant to be felt. Like a hug that lingers longer than the arms that held you. Jungkook is no longer just his bandmate. He's his historian. In interviews he doesn't mention Taehyung, but he hums more than ever. He wears older clothes, and his lyrics have grown quieter. He recently posted a journal page blurred at the edges, but fans managed to read one sentence. Some people don't leave footprints, they leave wins. The page was later deleted, but no one forgot it, because we were never meant to forget, only to remember more gently. This is how you stay without staying. Taehyung exists in the second verse that sounds more like a question than an answer. The museum that suddenly plays Debussy without explanation. The art exhibit titled Absence but Holy. The space between Jungkook's breath and the next lyric. He is not trending. He is not advertising. He is simply resonating. He didn't disappear. He just chose to be where time doesn't rush. July 22, 2025, somewhere between what we hear and what we feel. The world still looks for Taehyung in search bars. But ARMY? They look for him in quiet cafes, in old poems, in the wind before rain. And somehow, every time they look there, he's already waiting. Not with an answer, but with a presence. A reminder that love, like music, never truly ends. It just fades into something more tender.